This is Thinking Credit with your host, Gary B. What's up, Credit Fam? I want to welcome you to Thinking Credit with Gary B. On this show, we talk about all things financial, from personal to business credit and more. So sit back and let's talk.
Hey, you got your boy Gary B here, from that new hot podcast show called Thinking Credit. Hey, I'm glad y'all stopped in with me tonight. What's today's date? June 11th, Saturday, June 11th, 2022. We already 6 months into the year, y'all. What is going on? This year is moving fast. But hey, that's no here nor there. We glad that we did make it. All right, let's thank the Alpha and the Omega, like I always do. Thank you, God, for what you gave me. Hey, tonight, like always, we're going to be talking about what is financial freedom. That's the definition. A lot of people have their own definitions for it. Okay. So we're going to see what our guest definition is for him. All right. And tonight we're going to be talking to one of my friends. I've been knowing him for a long time. I met him through my god brother. He's been a good friend of mine for years. He's retired military. So all you Navy folks out there, hey, he's retired Navy. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to come on. We're going to talk a little bit. But let me give you what the definition of financial freedom is. Financial freedom usually means having enough savings, financial investments, and cash on hand to afford the kind of life we desire ourselves and other families. It means growing savings that enable us to retire or pursue the career we want without being driven by earning a set salary each year. Excuse me for that. So that tells me is financial freedom for anybody could be different because everybody has different dreams. All right. Now, honestly, how much money does it take to have financial freedom? That's even up in the air because depending on what type of life you want to live. So let's take a common rule. The common rule of thumb is to maintain an emergency fund equal to 3 to 6 months of expenses. Okay. So let's say you spent $3,000 a month. You would have to have an emergency fund of 9,000 to 18,000. This should be enough to let you weather a significant financial catastrophe, such as the injury or losing your job. Okay. So you think about that. Whatever amount of money you make right now, you want to make at least 3 to 6 months just in case something happens. Okay. That's what financial freedom really is. And that's my definition of it. That's how I live. I have a bank account just set for that. Okay. And hey, it's working out good for me. And I'm working off a retirement check, just one check, y'all. So it can happen. You can do it. All right. So with that being said, we're going to get into the show tonight. All right. So we already talked about what the definition of financial freedom is. I already told you what a good method of measuring it is. But now we want to find out from my boy, all the way from San Diego, California, my boy Josh Brown. Come on in here, Josh. What's up?
Gary B. What's
What's
going
up?
on, man?
Sure, I don't know
What's up,
nothing.
man?
You the man, bro. You the man.
Man, thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate
Hey,
this.
hey, I'm glad you're on because, bro, I got to tell people you have taught me a lot. I know you retired from the military before I did, and I know you got into a few things along, through the years, and you have tried to pull me in on them, and a lot of them with some good ideas. And I'm happy for you, man. I'm glad to see you doing good. So, with some of the stuff that you was telling me about, I want you to tell people in your own words who Josh Brown is.
Well, retired military, as you said. But right now, entrepreneur, investor. Um, right now, working on NFTs. As you see right here, just one of my NFTs. But we'll talk more about it later in the segment. But yeah, so investing in pretty much all different type of stuff. You name it, I probably invested in it or try to invest in it. And also, um, by trade, I'm a web developer slash graphic designer. So I work on numerous of different projects. So that's the entrepreneur side of what I do. And then the investment side of it is pretty much stocks. Right now, trying to get into a little bit more the real estate game. And like you said, we'll be talking a little bit more on it.
Okay. So by you telling the people, hey, like you said, you retired military like me, we know that we didn't make a lot of money in the military, but some of us took the little money we made. We went to school, we got things from that, we put money to the side to do bigger and better things. So tell me what your definition of financial freedom is to you.
Well, financial freedom to me, ownership of your time. Whenever I want to go on vacation, I have to call off work. I just go on vacation, and I have the funds to go on vacation. There's no calling the boss to see how many days I got, and or even the military. In the military, you got to figure out how many days you have accumulated just so you can go on leave, and then
Yeah.
you have to ask permission in the military. So I'm
Yeah.
sure it's the same process of the 9 to 5, right? Which ain't nothing wrong with 9 to 5. I'm not putting any shade of 9 to 5, but as far as financial freedom, it's just the freedom to do anything you want to with your time without calling off or without requesting to see if you have any time on the books. And then also financial freedom. I always use this term, and I took it from Earn Your Leisure. You probably see it on a lot of your social media. Assets over liability. So assets over liability. So what that means is you have an asset, meaning ownership, that is paying for your liabilities, whether your living expenses, your car, your bills. You have some type of asset, whether it is real estate, either stocks from the capital gains, paying for certain bills. Um, so to me, that's financial freedom.
Okay. Okay. So you alluded to you being an investor. Can you just give us a short snippet of what you invest in and how do you feel about the market right now?
Well, right now the market is not all that great, right? As far as stocks. Now, real estate as a seller, the market is booming. As a seller, if you invest it, I mean, if you try to sell your home or some of your real estate, but as a buyer for real estate, uh, the only way the only way you can make money is pretty much from rehab. Stocks and even cryptocurrency right now. I always say this, right? But when the market is down, I say the stocks is on sale. So this is the perfect time to buy, right? So the saying is buy low, sell high. So during this market, as far as stocks, this is a good time to buy because the stocks is definitely on sale. A lot of the cryptocurrency is definitely on sale.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, to
Okay.
answer your question, yeah, right now the market as far as stocks, it's definitely low. It's definitely time to buy, but always do your research. Always just don't buy just to buy. Just always do your research. If you have to take a course with stocks, do that. I'm more of a buy and hold guy. So I don't do short term stocks. I don't do anything that I buy and then I hold it. I look at it at a way like it's more of my retirement plan or more of my first future investments if I uh willing to want to liquidate some stocks and buy either real estate.
Okay. Well, hey, that's good to hear that you are an investor. You told us about the fertility of the market right now. That's cool. So I was told about this program called NACA,
Right.
Neighborhood Assistant Corporation of America. Um, I was told through doing my research on you that you're involved in that program. What is that
Yeah.
program?
Yeah. You go through the workshop, right? Basically, it's a combative. Uh, well, first of all, you know about gentrification. Gentrification is going on everywhere, right? And usually, for the most part, unfortunately, it's people from outside of the neighborhood coming up, buying up stuff, and pretty much raising up the price and pushing people out. Lived in the neighborhood for decades, right? Or for a long period of time, right? So NACA is pretty much a combative organization, allows people from the neighborhood to actually invest in the property in the neighborhood or even outside the neighborhood. But the goal is to have the people within the neighborhood own it.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, it sounds like a program that I'm gonna have to look into for a few people. I mean, I own my house and I have some property, but yeah, I'm gonna have to spread that program around to people. It sounds like it's a pretty decent program. Well, I got a couple of more questions for you to go along with what you was telling us tonight. Um, the next question is this. If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Yourself first, right? Meaning learn learn how to invest. Because a lot of people think real estate investment, oh, you just buying a home and fixing it up. But you also want to analyze a deal. You want to make sure that particular property, it is a deal. Yeah.
Uh, so that's what you would tell your 18-year-old self to invest. Okay. So
Yeah.
investing is
Invest.
something that you wish you would have did a long time ago. Okay.
If if I started investing when I was 18, you would start having financial freedom right away. You know what I mean? Because I would say if you buy right and you stay consistent, I've seen people start having financial freedom or retire within a 5 year mark of investing. You know what I mean? So imagine you invested for 5 years, right? Imagine 10 years, imagine 20 years, all that compound interest. Even buying a home where you are doing hacking, house hacking. A lot of people don't know about house hacking, right? Where because by me being in the military, because I came in the Navy around 18 years old. Imagine if I knew about house hacking, buy an apartment, live in one of the units. Imagine that if I knew that at 18 while I was in the military.
Well, I got just a few more questions and then we can wrap this on up.
Okay.
Um, who has been the most important professional mentor in your life right now?
Oh man. Well, do it have to be somebody I know or somebody virtually?
It can be virtual. I mean, whatever you feel is
Okay.
important to you.
What actually got my mindset right is this guy named Jay Morris. Some people are heard about, and and it's some it's some people think he's a scammer, but he's not. Uh, I learned so much from this guy, right? I even took his courses, you know, and he's the one who got my mindset right, right? And then once I got my mindset right, he motivated me to actually learn it. And then once I learned it, I just started to apply it. And even though he's more of a real estate investor, I use that as a way of life now, man. Like the things that I want to do, like the NFTs, what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? Uh, he pretty much got my mindset right to actually do it. You know what I mean? Learn how to do it, and then apply it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me, this is an off the wall question. If you won $10 million tomorrow, what would you spend it on?
What would I spend it on? I probably won't necessarily spend it on nothing, but I would invest it in a lot of the things that um, I probably would. Definitely will buy probably a real estate, most definitely. Now I'm learning about whole life insurance where you can use whole life insurance at the bank. Definitely have to do that. And then pretty much probably some more courses, investment courses. You know what I mean? Because right now I won't say I'm financial free. I'm close to it, right? And when I mean financial free, meaning it's levels to it, right? So I'm financial free. Well, I'm close to financial freedom as a single guy with no kids and no dependents, right? It'd be a different story if I was married or and have kids, right? But since um, since I'm single, definitely close to that financial freedom because of the investments I did, right? The investment, real estate, probably more stocks and education to, for other real estate investments. You know what I mean? Because and then of course a home. You know what I mean? A car probably. You know what I mean? But of course you want to do it in the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. So but yeah.
All right. Well, I got one last question for you, and
Mhm.
that question is, since you already told me about what financial freedom means to you, you talked about investing, you talked about the NACA program, you told me about that one influential person in your life, you told me what you would do if you could go back and talk to your 18-year-old self. You told me what you would do with $10 million. Well, I got one last question, and you can make the answer real quick and straight to the point. And that is, what is your biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
Okay, yeah. Biggest failure, my first home. And we kind of touched on it earlier. Yeah, my first home. Actually didn't know. I really didn't know how to buy. You know what I mean? I just bought a home because I saw my other friends were buying a home, right? As I retired from the military, as everybody know, your income starting it's a big change. Once you retire, if you don't have a job set up or what have you, it's a big change. Even though I get a pension every month, but it came to the point where it was really hard to find a job and set me back. And I still owe that payment, that monthly payment, as far as the house. And of course, I end up losing the house. So, so that was my biggest setback or biggest loss, or I'll say biggest failure. But it was a learning lesson too, because now I'm to the point where I educated myself and I make sure, this it won't happen again.
Okay.
Or try not to happen again, like hopefully.
Yeah, I
Fingers
was gonna say,
crossed, right?
that's the
Yeah,
way to look at it. As long as you keep God first, even if you fail, you're gonna get right back up. So,
right.
all right. Well, that's all I wanted to ask you tonight on the show. You gave us some pretty good answers. Hey, I'm like I said, I'm glad that you're part of my life. You're a good friend of mine, and I learned a lot from you tonight. And I learned a lot from you through the years. And I want to say, thank you for that. And I want to say thank you for coming on to the show and introducing yourself to my audience. Hey, I know this is a new thing for me. People are starting to follow me now, and I'm glad they are. So I hope they hear your story of what financial freedom means to you, and I hope they can go out and make something happen for them. So you got anything else to say before I close out the show?
Sure. Well, these right here, this is one of my NFTs, right? So I have a website, Black Assassin Club. So that's the name of the NFTs. Right now I'm doing some fundraisers. So I'm trying to get the word out about these NFTs. And we're supposed to launch in the month of July. Yep, blackassassinclub.com. So you go there. Also, I got my Cash App is on there, different social media. And so any little bit, count 5, 10, 20, what have you, would be appreciative. So, and what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to buy some ads, Facebook ads, IG ads, just to get the word out for these NFTs. So yeah, launching in the middle of July. So blackassassinclub.com. So blackassassinclub.com.
All right, all right. And like I said, I know we don't have time to go into it now what an NFT is, but hey, you gave them a pretty good idea of what to look for. Like I said, once again, I want to say thank you for coming on to the show, bruh. You've been a enlightening person. And audience, y'all heard the man. Go to his website, support the man. The man is trying to do good things. We need more African Americans in the market out there. You know what I'm saying? Especially in that market. The NFT market ain't no joke. So it's a new thing. They're trying to build it. Help the brother out. He got T-shirts. He got, well, actually on his website, you'll see he got a lot some more than just T-shirts. He got everything. So anyway, with that being said, everybody, hey, let's give a big round of applause for Josh Brown. Hey, Josh, I'm glad you came through. Hey, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Hey, Credit Fam, I want to say thank y'all for tuning in this Saturday night with me. Another Saturday. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night. You know that mentally financial going to be out there. We're going to talk about how mental financial stress can hurt you, man. We got to get that together. We got to stop being scared. We got to talk about these things.
I want to thank you for checking out this episode. Keep following me for all the latest financial information. You can follow and subscribe on Applecast, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Stretch, and all the podcast networks out there. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment box. I'm your man, Gary B. Like I always say, I do the research. You just got to follow.